for 4 tonight. Grounded foul, and it's 0-1. Bellinger is 4 for 11 in his career against Hoffman.
And he's 3 for 15 in this series. The Blue Jays have pitched him very tough.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And again, the Yankees are down to their final strike. And the 0-2 pitch. Down low for ball 1. 25 pitches now for Jeff Hoffman. This is his game. There's nobody up in the pen. Guerrero playing behind Judge at first. The 1-2 pitch. Got him! Jeff Hoffman strikes out Cody Bellinger, and the Blue Jays have done it. They have knocked off the New York Yankees. They have won their first playoff series since 2016, and they are going to the American League Championship Series. What a job by those two tonight, John Schneider and Pete Walker. And every single face, Buck, that we see celebrating out behind the mound, each and every one of them had a hand in this series victory.
Absolutely. Everybody had a moment in the sun in this series. Kevin Gausman with a great start in game 1. Vladdy had a phenomenal season and a great division series. Jeff Hoffman gets the final out of the game. Trey Savage in game 2 established a record for strikeouts by a rookie in a postseason game, and everybody on this team has made a contribution to this effort all season long. How about Louis Varland? Last night he gave up a 3-run home run and a solo shot. He was the losing pitcher last night, and he told the manager, I want to get back on that horse. Put me back out there tonight to start this game, and he did a heck of a job.
An incredible job by this team. After the loss last night, you could imagine that a little tension would creep in, maybe some doubt would creep in, but they have stayed together, they have stayed mentally strong, and they have never stopped believing in one another, Buck, the entire season.
No, not at all. And how about the first inning? George Springer hits the double, and Vladdy knocks him in for the first run of the ball game. Vladdy Guerrero with 9 RBIs in the series in 4 games. A terrific effort by Vladdy. John Schneider, the manager, had confidence that Vladdy would get things turned around, and boy, did he ever. How about Nathan Lucas? What a dream come true for Nathan to have 5 RBIs in a 4-game division series and a big hit in tonight's game. A 2-run single in the 7th inning to give the Blue Jays some breathing room.
Up and down the lineup and top to bottom in that bullpen, they played their game tonight. They played the kind of game they have played so many times to win so often this year, and they have defeated the New York Yankees. Again, their first series victory in the postseason since 2016, and the party is just beginning.
Absolutely, it's just beginning, and it's really amazing. They played so well all season long, and last night they got away from the way they played, and it cost them, but they regrouped and came back and played that same Blue Jays baseball here tonight, and they take the series against the New York Yankees.
And now, after they celebrate and fly home later tonight, they will watch the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers play a 5th and deciding game Friday night in Seattle to determine who the opponent.
Cupping his left ear to hear the pitch comm signal. And the 0-2. Line drive. Fair ball. Down the right field line. Ricochets off the sidewall. Springer scores with ease. Judge on it quickly gets it in to keep Vladdy to a single. And the Blue Jays lead 1-0 in the first. 0-2 pitch. Called. Strike three. 100 middle in. And he freezes Bellinger. First strikeout of the game for Varland, 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
Well, I can almost guarantee that that's not where Louis Varland intended to throw that pitch. Cody Bellinger was fooled as well. They were trying to go away, probably off the plate outside, but that's a good miss and a big out here in this inning.
Chisholm in the playoffs, 4 for 19. Does have that home run last night. Also 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. No outs in the payoff pitch. Swing and a foul tip, strike 3. Got him on another curve. Did not budge and give Chisholm a heater, and there's 1 down.
Yeah, might have missed his spot by just a little bit, but it acted like a changeup. Jazz Chisholm was way out in front, foul tipped it into the glove of Alejandro Kirk. A good job actually holding on to that baseball. Not an easy foul tip for a catcher to catch. It's a big first out for Louis Varland.
Left-hander's 5th pitch of this appearance. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Just kept feeding him sweepers in the same spot, and eventually Wells chased again. 2 outs.
That's the best one I've seen him throw in a long time.
Blue Jays shift Volpe to the pull side, the third base side. And the 2-2. Called, strike 3. Cutter at the top of the zone to freeze Volpe, and around the hit batter. Varland and Fluharty combined to punch out 3 in a scoreless bottom of the second. A breath and the payoff pitch. Stroked out to right field and deep. Santander looking up. It's out of here, and we're tied at 1.
Not a bad pitch. You have to give Ryan McMahon credit for taking some tough sweepers off the plate. Obviously, Mason Fluharty doesn't want to walk Ryan McMahon there. McMahon knows that he's going to get something in the strike zone. He got the sweeper. It was down. McMahon was slightly out in front, but was able to barrel it up and get it out of here about 2 or 3 rows deep.
Fans to their feet. The 3-2. Called, strike 3. Cutter on the inside edge. Grisham can't believe it, but it had the zone, and he'll take a slow walk back to the first base dugout. 1 out in the bottom of the third. Dominguez with a 1-1. On the ground at first, Vladdy gloves, throws to second 1. Jimenez back to first in time. 3-6-3 double play, and a heck of a play from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who made the throw and recovered to the bag. 0-1 pitch. Springer drives it. Left center field. Moving back, Grisham makes the catch. Tagging at third is Ernie Clement. Throw goes into second, and George Springer has given the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead in the 5th with a sacrifice fly. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevates the cutter at 89 and punches out Volpe, 2 down.
What a gutsy pitch coming right at the top of the strike zone.
The 3-2 pitch. Called, strike 3. He took another one. A slider over the middle, and there's 1 out.
My goodness. What a pitch from Eric Lauer on the outer third. I'm actually very surprised that Trent Grisham took that pitch. Not sure what he's looking for, what he's waiting for in that situation. Nonetheless, a big out.
1-0 pitch. And he lines it to left center field, a base hit. In to score Clement. Around third, Jimenez. The throw from Grisham cut off. 2-run single, Nathan Lucas. It's 4-1 Blue Jays in the 7th. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the curve in the dirt. Volpe 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Getting booed by the Yankee Stadium crowd. There's 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Nail-biting time in New York. Tying run at the plate, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Left on left the pitch. And he hits it high. Foul third base side. Barger jogging over. Jimenez waves him off on the side warning track. He makes the grab, settling up onto the turf. Huge pitch, Brendan Little. Huge defensive play, Andres Jimenez. And a pair are stranded as we go on to the 8th. 0-2. Poked, right field, sinking, down for a base hit. Miles Straw delivers with an RBI single, and the Blue Jays lead 5-1 in the 8th inning. Fisher set. No outs. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Judge goes down. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. He got him on a curve. Hoffman's pitch to Wells. Hit high, left field. Plenty of room for Miles Straw. He'll make the grab, and Hoffman strands the bases loaded to send us to the 9th. Blue Jays 5, Yankees 1. Game 4 of the ALDS. 3 outs away. Lucas taps the plate, looks out to Bednar. Right-hander's first pitch of the 9th inning. Swing and a line drive. Right field, hooking to the corner. That's down in fair territory on the warning track. Lucas taking off for second. The throw from Judge bounces in behind him. He's safe at second with a first pitch double. This guy is on fire right now in the playoffs. The 1-2. Lined out to left field and deep. That ball sinking toward the wall. It's off the fence. In to score Dominguez. Long wall ball single for Judge, and it's 5-2. Judge just missing a homer, and he keeps the Yankees' hopes alive with a long RBI single. 2 outs still in the bottom of the 9th. He nods and peeks at first. Vladdy now playing behind Judge. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Scream and flex from Hoffman. The Blue Jays are back in the ALCS for the first time since 2016. They down the Yankees in their own yard, and they're the first team in baseball's Final Four.
Thinking about upgrading your equipment? Finning has a deal that's built to reward you whether you're a new or returning customer. From now until November 2nd, take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months on select CAT compact equipment. With payments starting as low as $1,458 a month, it's never been easier to own the gear you need. But hurry, these offers end November 2nd. To learn more and to book your demo today, visit your local Finning dealership or call 1-800-FINNING.
Everyone, I'm pregnant.
You can see 10 fingers, 10 toes.
Oh, that onesie will look so cute.
Pregnancy changes your perspective and priorities. There is no safe amount of alcohol during pregnancy. Visit dry9.ca.
Well, you know, Kevin Barker in 2020, it was COVID, and no one really paid a great deal of attention to the fact the Jays lost to the Rays in the series. We had other things in our mind. Then it was the collision. George Springer and Bo Bichette. Then it was, of course, that loss in Minnesota. Jose Barrios coming out early. Vladdy getting picked off base. We don't have to talk about that anymore. For the first time since 2016, for the first time for this core of Blue Jays, they are going to the ALCS after a 5-2 win over the New York Yankees in the Bronx. Now the Jays sit back and await the winner of the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners series. It is Blue Jays Talk. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker. The number is always 416-870-0590, star 590. 1-888-660-590. 590 is the text line. We'll go to live interviews and clubhouse celebrations in a few minutes. Kevin, a bullpen game after a loss last night that seemed like a gut punch. Nathan Lucas with the key hit. This was very much kind of your basic Blue Jays win, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we started this thing by talking about it's going to take the village, right? And tonight, after the way the game ended last night, and, we were having the conversation, would this be a winning edition of Jays Talk after the game? And I don't think either one of us had an answer or even wanted to talk about that because of how many arms John had to use. And just go down the list. I mean, that village, that 13 against 1, that 26 against 1, I mean, it's just, the next man up mentality throughout the entire night was huge for the Blue Jays. Louis Varland came out and set the tone. I mean, after the way his night went last night, Jeff, for him to come out and get the 4 outs that he got and, using all 5 pitches, he hit a batter to end that. And then you just sort of pass the baton after that, right? It's just an onslaught of all kinds of arms. And him and John Snyder bringing in Sir Anthony Dominguez in the 3rd inning and getting those 5 outs was huge. And, Eric Lauer, just the way he would maneuver around the judge and when John decided to walk Judge, like every little decision that they were making was on point. And, it was just basically he's saying, do it, let's go out there and get it done. And they got the big hit when they needed to get the big hit. They played defense the way they were supposed to play defense. I'm with you. This is a Jays win, right? This is sort of the way their entire season has went is, it's just you're going to grind. You're going to figure out ways to pass the baton to your teammate, help your teammate be the best player or best version of themselves. And that's huge. After the way last night ended, for them to come out and do this, that just tells you all you need to know about the 26 guys that's on that roster.
Kevin, down the stretch, we saw the Blue Jays use a bullpen game with Louis Varland and Eric Lauer. Louis Varland opening, Eric Lauer pitching a bulk roll. We saw them do that against the Boston Red Sox. 7 pitchers used, 6 perfect innings, 8 strikeouts, a 6-1 win. Tonight we saw 8 Blue Jays pitchers used by John Schneider, basically emptied his bullpen, and they kept the New York Yankees at bay. And to me, the story of this game, despite all the pitching changes, despite all of that, Aaron Judge came up to the plate once tonight with a man on base. That was in the 9th inning. Yes, he did drive in a run, as it turns out, the last run of the game. But other than that, Eric Judge did not put his imprint in this game. And that, based on what happened last night, Kevin, that was absolutely crucial. And I have to mention this again. We talked about the Yankees. We talked about their defense. Don't strike out. Put the ball in play. At some point, somebody is going to screw up. God bless Jazz Chisholm, because Jazz Chisholm was the guy tonight that screwed up. And to me, one of the most amazing things about this win was the shot we saw on TV going into the 9th inning. Fans streaming out of the stadium. Streaming out of the stadium. Not only did the Blue Jays beat the Yankees, I mean, they completely sucked the soul out of that fan base.
Yeah, the Vladdy 0-2 RBI single in the 1st inning was huge. We talked about that on our show today was, can somebody get a hit early to sort of just take the pressure off of John and Petey? If they did sort of not go to the right guy at the right time and they gave it up, at least they'd have the lead, would give the lineup a chance to come back. Obviously, that didn't happen. But Vladdy coming up and, just able now to use the entire field, which it's been a while since he's been able to do that, cover different quadrants when he has to cover them because of the little mechanical change and the timing's that much better. Ernie had the huge night. The Nathan Lucas, you see your buddy in front of you get 7 change-ups in a row. You go up because of who's on the on-deck circle behind you, thinking that you're going to get some elevated fastballs. The second one you got because you have a level swing and not trying to do too much. Think big part of the field, hit it where it's pitched. It's just that sort of that big league at bat, that professional at bat that you have because sort of what's going on in front of you and who's standing behind you. So, Yeah, I mean, and you had the add-on run with the Kirky double in the 8th inning, which is huge, right? I mean, that just gives you to where, the Grand Slam can't beat you, which that's, the teams that I've ever been on that are any good. That's huge, too. So it's just a team effort. It's a team win, yeah.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Ernie Clement, one of the heroes of this game, is with Hazel May.
It's been so fun competing with them all year, and, through the ups and downs, we earn this so much.
Everybody talks about the unsung heroes, you and Miles and Nathan Lucas. I mean, I can go on, and Addison. The fact that you guys were major contributors, how satisfying is that to this?
Yeah, it's a team effort. Like I said, it's 1 through 9. Whatever the roster, 1 through 26. It's every single guy, and I'm so proud of this group. I really am.
All right, congratulations. We will see you in the ALCS.
We're going to go celebrate.
That was Ernie Clement with Hazel May. Ernie Clement, 2 runs scored tonight. Bottom of the order, Ernie Clement, Andres Jimenez coming through. We talked about Nathan Lucas. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Speaking of Nathan Lucas, guess who he's with?
Who?
Said it's everything you thought it would be. Did you ever imagine that you would be one of the most valuable players in this ALDS?
Not one bit, but...
Not one bit, but you absolutely were. Think of all those bus rides, all that hard work. What really stands out to you the most about your journey?
I mean, it's a team. It's when they go, I follow, and when I go, they follow. It's been an unbelievable journey, and we're still going.
And to do it against a team that you guys fought off for the division, and to do it in their stadium, how much more satisfying is it?
To do it in their house means everything. It's unbelievable. We're just getting started.
Are you going to still keep Instagram on private?
It'll come on private.
Okay, congratulations. Go celebrate.
All right, the numbers to call, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590, 590 is the text line. Julian in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
No. Hey. Goodbye. Just wanted, one more time, just want to share with Nathan Lucas. Last time I called in, he was batting .333 with men and scores vision. And he came up tonight, and I looked at my fiance, and he had 2 on. I said, he's knocking one. There's no doubt about it. And he did it, Mr. Clutch.
Yeah,
Let's go. Go Jays, go.
Thanks, Julian. I appreciate the call. It is funny. Kevin and I had this discussion about a month ago. We were talking about the Jays, and it was in a different context. We were talking about Vladdy. Vladdy was going through scuffles, and one of the things Kevin said is, man, you know what? At this point, you'd almost like to see Nathan Lucas come up with men in scoring position. Now, that's changed, obviously. Vladdy had a terrific series. Yeah. Vladdy's starting to make – I was the one that said this is when that contract started.
Yeah.
That contract started with this series. And but at the same time, Nathan Lucas, Kevin, he's come through with clutch hits all year.
Yeah, look, I think the approach, knowing, again, what I said about knowing who's hitting behind you, knowing how the guy was pitched in front of you, the 7 changeups, I go back to that, at bat that he's standing on the on-deck circle, seeing George getting all the changeups, and then looked to me like he was sitting hater, right? I mean, if you're not sitting hater, you're not getting to the elevated fastball the way he did, and that flat little level, repeatable swing that he has, and, just can get it on plane, that would allow him to just be able to have plate coverage, which is exactly what he had. He's a professional hitter, Jeff. They wouldn't be here without him.
Hazel May is with Kevin Gossman, who I would have to imagine is probably going to start Game 1 of the ALCS.
One of the veterans on this team, to watch how the young guys and the supporting cast members of this team come up big in Game 4. What did you think of their performance?
I mean, it's no surprise, honestly. They've done it all year. Guys have come up in big spots all year long. It's no surprise to us. We believe in each guy. Next guy up mentality. Whew, that's cold. Oh my goodness. We believe in the next guy up, whether it's a rookie or a 10-year vet. Whoever's coming up next, we believe in them.
You talk about a rookie. Louis Varland gave up that big home run last night, and for him to come back and
I mean, he showed his guts. He shows what he's made of. To go out there and you know, after yesterday, you know, some crazy bad luck, honestly, and to go out there and set the tone for us today, I thought it was awesome.
Lastly, what would you like to say to Canadians from coast to coast?
I don't give a We're go. Let's go. Yeah, let's go, Canada.
He obviously didn't hear the live on Sports Network. Thank you, Kevin Gossman.
All right.
Let's see if we can get someone else here.
Kevin Gossman, a little excited. You could tell. We apologize for the language. Live TV, live radio, I guess, in a lot of ways. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666. 0590 Shlomo and Scarborough. You're on Blue Jays Talk.
Guys, this is crazy. Excited to see what happened. I just want to say, like, we can't really be upset anymore about the money spent by this front office, at least for now. Like, that Jimenez deal, we were thinking it's so much money for just defense, but then we watched the Yankees just make error after error, just costing them this, and what happened last game for us. It's just so interesting because I know I've been hard on the front office, calling in and discussing with you guys about deals that felt like overspends, et cetera. But these guys stuck to their guns and had an ethos and had a plan. And it really shows that baseball, you need all cylinders to fire at once for it to really work. I mean, obviously, we don't have Bo, and we lost a few other key pieces. But enough things just need to go right all at once for it to work. And these guys definitely learn from their mistakes somewhat to be in this position right now. What do you guys think the roster is going to look like next series?
Oh, next series? Thanks for the call. I mean, Kevin, you know, we'll wait and see what the status of Bo Bichette. The Jays do have some time off now. Mm-hmm. So that, to me, is the lingering question. I would think Chris Bassett's probably back on the roster.
Yeah.
We'll wait to see a little more with that. But certainly Bo Bichette, I would think if he's healthy, we'll get on there. But, at this point, that's kind of the most pressing question, I think, is the one pitching spot and Bo Bichette's health.
Yeah, I'm sure it depends on who they're playing, how many lefties are in there, how many lefties they think they have to take, right? Whether you're going to leave Max or Bassett off or try and take both. I mean, that's decisions they'll have to make. I would assume one of the two's coming just because of, the extra guy that they'll need in the rotation, the experience. I don't think you want to make a habit out of trying to do things like they did tonight. So, yeah, the Bo thing, we saw him running today. Jeff, it was today, right, when he was out on the –
And he's taken we know he's taken live BP, and we know that he's ramped up his they've been pretty guarded telling us what Bo's up to. For John Schneider to say that he thinks Bo turned a bit of a corner today, I think is probably pretty telling, to be honest.
Yeah, he looked like he was being careful. I mean, I think that's baby steps, right? It's just pretty cool, I think, to see him actually out there – trying to hurry up as fast as he can to want to be a part of this. I'm sure this is eating him alive. Like, he's a big part of getting him here or helping him get here, and getting hurt like this, I'm sure he's going through it.
5-2, the Blue Jays have beaten the New York Yankees. Folks, they are going on to the ALCS. They await the winner of the Seattle Mariners-Detroit Tigers series. That series is knotted up at 2 games apiece going back to Seattle. 416-870-0590, star 591, 888-666-0590. We'll take a break, come back, go back to the phone lines, go to the text line, go back to the Blue Jays clubhouse. We'll hear from the skipper, John Schneider, as well. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey everyone, I'm pregnant.
You can see 10 fingers, 10 toes.
Oh, that onesie will look so cute.
Pregnancy changes your perspective and priorities. There is no safe amount of alcohol during pregnancy. Visit dry9.ca.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Scream and flex from Hoffman. The Blue Jays are back in the ALCS for the first time since 2016. They down the Yankees in their own yard, and they're the first team in baseball's Final Four.
Yes, indeed, they are. The Toronto Blue Jays have advanced to the ALCS. There is as you might expect, a rather sizable champagne celebration going on in the Blue Jays clubhouse at Yankee Stadium, and we'll take you back there in a few minutes as hopefully Hazel will make it out of there okay.
She's working through it.
Well, she is working through it, and I mean, she's had a lot of experience doing this. And we've talked about the importance to this fan base, to this organization, and I think Shlomo, our caller just before the break, talked about the front office and just everything this organization has gone through to try to get to this point. Now, obviously, going to the ALCS, I mean, the next goal is getting to the World Series. And, further to Shlomo's point as well, look, this team was in first place, went into first place around July 3rd, didn't lose possession of first place, was tied with the Yankees for a day or two. That's about it. They've been the best team in the American League for at least record-wise. And, it's great they are where they are, and we're all happy. And I'm sure some of us are, a little surprised that they were able to do this at Yankee Stadium. But I don't think we can overlook, Kevin, how good this team was, how well put together it was, and just what a terrific job that Pete Walker, John Schneider, and the entire coaching staff did with this team.
Yeah, I think you got to give them credit, too. The 5 days off, whatever they said to Vladdy, whatever Vladdy figured out to try and be Vladdy again, worked. And, it was going to be tough for them to make a deep run into the playoffs without him being Vladdy on occasion more times than not. And to see this version that we're seeing where he can pull baseballs and he can use the entire field, Jeff, going into whoever they're going to face, for me, they're the front runner.
Oh, without question. Without question. Now, and let's see who they will face. The Seattle Mariners are going to have to go through Tarik Skubal. So we'll see where that ends up going. Let's go back to the Jays clubhouse. Hazel May is with Davis Schneider and Addison Barger, and they're not running into each other or chasing pop flies this time.
Addison, tell me about the emotions going through your mind right now.
It's a lot to process right now. This is pretty unbelievable.
It is pretty unbelievable, and so has your play this season. Davis, you know Addison very well. You guys have played together for a long time. Tell me about the growth that you've seen in him this season, how much he deserves what's happening to him right now.
I mean, I've played with Barter since 21, and just the way he got better as a player and as a human, it's awesome. So, I've known he's going to be a big leaguer ever since 21, but, it's kind of great to see that everyone else is kind of seeing the same thing that I was seeing.
And Davis Schneider's not too shabby, right, Addison? What can you tell us about being his teammate and doing this together?
I mean, doing it together is awesome, but this guy's grinded and proved all the haters wrong his whole career. That's all he's done.
Look at his face. Look at his face, Liz. No,
ALCS.
Everybody's talking about the supporting cast members on this team. I mean, how satisfying is it for you guys that you guys have been contributing in such a big way to this point?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I feel like everyone up and down the lineup, from the bullpen on, everyone kind of does their job and contributes in their own way. And I feel like that's what makes our team really good, is that everyone does their own job. And, it's something special to have this team kind of do what we did this year. And, we got 8 more wins to go.
Addison, a lot of the guys tell me that the veterans on this team have really guided you guys to being the best players that you can be. I mean, how much of the cap tip do you want to give to those guys?
I mean, they're the best. They've been awesome all year. I think every younger guy can attest to that they've been awesome role models, and they show us, how to do it every single day.
All right, one final message to Canada. Everybody watching from coast to coast to coast. Let's start with you, Davis. What's your message?
I feel like I'm going to have trench foot after today. I'm standing in beer with no feet on, or no shoes on, so we'll see the update. But, best fans in the world, Canada, and hopefully we get 8 more wins for you guys.
All right, Addison, what would you like to tell everybody watching on Sportsnet?
They're the best fans in the world, and just to keep coming out of the games, keep supporting us.
What I'm saying, that's chill. Okay, all right, that's fine. That's all right.
Keep the support up. Let's go.
That is Hazel May with Addison Barger and Davis Schneider. And again, fitting because, Kevin, as we talked about, the supporting cast really did come through today, whether it was Nathan Lucas, Ernie Clement. I don't know. Maybe we can't call Ernie Clement a member of the supporting cast anymore because he plays every day. Yep. Andres Jimenez, top to bottom, lots of contributions. Vladdy, talked about this, opened the scoring in the first inning with that single. George leads off with the double. Get an early lead. Keep the game in the hands of your manager and your pitchers and let them kind of dictate the pace of the game. That's exactly what happened here. That's why the Blue Jays ended up winning 5-2. They really did from the start. They dictated this game more or less to the New York Yankees.
Yeah, I think it started with Louis, right? Obviously, what we saw Louis go through last night. The big boy at first got the scoring started with the 2-strike RBI single. And then they sort of weathered the storm when Fluharty gave up the solo homer, right? I mean, you could start looking around, and they didn't, and they grinded through it, and John made the right move after the right move after the right move, and offensively they started having a couple of big innings, and they added a little separation, got a little hairy, in certain spots like Little and, that dude who pitches the ninth inning, but, that doesn't really matter. It's more about they went on the road. They got it done after one of those nights that, they probably want to forget. And I just like the way the dudes talk, like the Bargers and all those guys.
Let's go back to the Jays clubhouse. We have George Springer with Hazel May.
George Springer. George, we're live on Sportsnet. George, you are one of the leaders of this ball club. The way you guys played this game was exactly the way you guys have done it all season. How proud of you, of the teammates this year?
Yeah, it's who we are. This is how we play. It might make a lot of people's hearts a little bit sore, but this is the Blue Jays, and I love these guys. I love this team, and this is awesome.
Listen, they boo only the good players in this league, and to do it here at Yankee Stadium has to be a little bit more satisfying to you guys.
Listen, at the end of the day, just to get the job done is awesome. That's a great team over there. So, for us to come here to get a win in this moment is awesome. I love it.
The guy behind you, John Schneider. John Schneider, the moves that he and his coaching staff made.
Sorry.
That's okay. The moves that he made, how proud are you of the way he's kind of done this?
Yeah, I love Schneid's. He loves us. His kind of attitude is who we are. I couldn't be happier for him, man. I love him. I love this team. I love our fans. I'm so excited.
Congratulations, George. I'm getting away from you because you attract a lot of this stuff.
We'll take it. We're coming home, Toronto.
All right. George Springer.
All right. That was George Springer with Hazel May. The numbers to call, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-866-0590. The Jays have beaten the New York Yankees 5-2 in the Bronx. Players are out of the clubhouse now. They are back on the field celebrating. Let's go back to the phone lines. Guy in Maple, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Wow, what a great game, guys. Just goes to show you, after a loss like yesterday, for this team to come back and win after a demoralizing loss. And you look specifically at Barger and Varland, and they just turned it around today. And it just goes to show you what this team's about. And I think we're on our way to the World Series. I really believe it. Everything's lined up. Bichette hopefully is going to be back. And ironically, the two cities where we get the most visiting fans for the Jays, Seattle and Detroit, we're going to have a huge contingent going out there. So it'll feel like 7 home games. So go Jays, go. And I got to give my flowers to Schneider. I've never done it in 3 years. And he probably managed his best game of his career. And go Jays, go.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Guy. And Kevin, look, John Schneider, Pete Walker, they pulled all the right levers tonight. They really did. And Guy makes an interesting point, right? Addison Barger makes the error yesterday, the costly error. He gets 3 hits tonight. Louis Varland gives up a home run that we're still going to be seeing that home run in the offseason. We just are because of the majesty of it. But Louis Varland comes out tonight and gives up the single to Aaron Judge in the first inning. And I admit I was kind of, I was feeling a little wobbly at that point, but he gets through that inning of 9 pitches, and just kind of sets the stage for what it allowed John to use the bullpen the way he wanted to use the bullpen. I think, if Louis had scuffled and couldn't make it out of the first inning, then I think things get a little more hairy. But look, they got through this game. They won the game. It was a bullpen game. They didn't need Yasavich and Gossman, Kevin, so they're set up for that next series. Just really a really good job by John and the coaching staff. Obviously the players, but John and the coaching staff making the right moves here.
Yeah, look, every time they panned the camera over, you could tell that him and Petey were grinding through it like that. They at least John said that, they had their plans. Like they had their laminated cards that, was highlighted in certain situations that they wanted to sort of match up. And I'm assuming it started with Sir Anthony. That early in the game, seeing Sir Anthony getting red hot, and you're thinking, well, who's going to pitch the 8th inning? And, what if it's a one-run game? And I just don't think John cared. John was all about trying to give the lineup a chance to add a little separation, get a little momentum. That way, when he did turn it over late in the game to the Lowers, the Rodriguezes, the Littles, the Fishers, the Hoffmans, then it would be making a little bit more sense. And that's exactly what happened. Everybody credit. I mean, again, they could have folded it up, and we could have been going Friday night, me and you, and having this show after a game at the Rogers Center after Game 5. But give them credit. They manned up. They put their big boy pants on. This was a team effort, and it started with John. I mean, John set the tone by coming out and saying, we embracing this. This is not really the best case scenario, but this is what we got. We're going to go out and try and figure it out, and we're going to start who we start. We're going to hand it over to who we hand it over to, and we're going to go out and try and win a baseball game in a tough environment, and that's exactly what happened. Kudos to everybody, Jeff.
Yeah, no, it really was a team effort, and one guy who really put his mark on this series early and in this game as well is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Hazel May caught up with him in the clubhouse today.
Vladdy, we're live on Sportsnet. Congratulations, Vladdy. In that final out of the ball game, what was going through your mind knowing you're off to the American League Championship Series?
I mean, I was afraid. I was giving the guy the thank you. Thank you for this. And to me, we always believe in each other. We always believe this is going to happen when you believe in that.
John Schneider said this was a bullpen game, but really it was a team win. Everybody doing their part. How much did you see of that throughout the entire season?
I mean, I see all the time. We believe in each other. And when they say it's going to be a bullpen, I say to the guys, one pitch at a time, one game at a time, and thank God we did it today.
You've always said you like playing here. You like facing the New York Yankees. To be able to clinch here in the Bronx means what to you?
Feels amazing. I don't know how words to explain how I feel right now.
All right. Congratulations, Vladdy. We'll see you in the ALCS.
Thank you.
All right. That was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He also took some time out to talk to the guys on the Fox Sports desk, and anytime you get Vladdy and David Ortiz sort of in the same area, you should probably play it. So let's hear how Vladdy. Let's hear that interaction between Vladdy and David Ortiz and the guys.
The Yankee lose. The Yankee lose. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Hey, let's do it again. The Yankees lose. The Yankees lose. Let's go, baby.
But you don't take it personal. I get it.
One more. The Yankees lose.
Oh, my God. I don't think there's anything else left to be said. Vlad, you were awesome. We'll see you in the next round. Go enjoy it, all right?
Llámame. Dale, te llamo de una vez. Gracias.
If you remember, we had David Ortiz on in the off-season on our podcast, and he was saying that the Blue Jays absolutely had to sign Vladdy to that extension, that they would regret not doing it, that he was the guy who has to be the face of the franchise. I mean, David Ortiz has been in Vladdy's corner from the get-go, and that is pretty funny. Look, David Ortiz said that Jesus wouldn't help the Yankees when they were down 2-0 to the Blue Jays, and he turned out he turned out to be right. 5-2, the Blue Jays have beaten the New York Yankees in the Bronx. They are off to the American League Championship Series. They will await the winner of the Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers. That series is going to a 5th game. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave our friends at the network now. If you're in Toronto, you can listen to us at Sportsnet 590 The Fan, or you can always go to the website. So thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball. Blue Jays postseason baseball. Canada's team is back in the playoffs, and your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers are proud to be part of it. For over 40 years, Crown has protected vehicles from rust, keeping them strong and ready for the road, just like a great playoff baseball team. Crown Rust Control, proud sponsor of your Toronto Blue Jays radio broadcasts.
Okay, hey, ready? Every single one of you, bullpen game, Nathan Lucas, Miles Straw, all you that takes everybody every day, start spreading the news.
Start spreading the news indeed. The Toronto Blue Jays have ended the New York Yankees 2025 season, beating the Yankees 5-2. The Jays are in the ALCS, their first series win, any series, since 2016. They will await the winners of the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. That series is tied up at 2 games apiece. It is Blue Jays Talk. Jeff Blair and Kevin Barker, 416-870-0590. Star 590 1-888-666-0590. The numbers to call. Sean and Caledon, you're on Blue Jays Talk. Hey, Sean.
Hey guys, that was a great game. You guys stopped saying that the Jays are so lucky that they toot rainbows. Did you guys get off that for a reason? Because I always thought that was so funny in the summer when you guys would say that.
You farting rainbows? No, we've been saying it forever. I mean, you
haven't said it tonight. I think today the game tonight with that bullpen game, like, I don't know about you guys, but not too many people were happy about a bullpen game. And Schneider taught a master class on a bullpen game tonight, and everything he did was farting rainbows. It was beautiful.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I got to tell you this. I don't consider this to be farting rainbows. I think this was master management of a bullpen by John Schneider, Pete Walker, and the entire staff. It really was. This is a combination of stuff that was scripted and gut calls. This is baseball management. I don't think this has anything to do with luck. You know, luck is the fact that the other team is Jazz Chisholm, and he's good to boot one ball usually every couple of days. So, I mean, that's luck. But by and large, Kevin, I don't know, man. I saw a lot of tough pitches made tonight, and, I mean, did they get away with some stuff? Yeah. They walked some batters, but I don't know about luck, man. I thought there was a lot of execution going into that.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think John was right when he said he's got multiple, ways that he thinks he can run guys out there in certain orders to try and get the job done. You know, I think he was trying to do that according to what the scoreboard was telling him, right? When you have the lead, you're tied, you're pitching some of your higher leverage guys. Eric Lauer is going to be a big part of that, right? And then on and on and on, and you're trying to get it to, it seemed to me like he wanted Fisher in one of those big time innings late in the game, and obviously trying to get it to Hoffman. So, yeah, I mean, it all worked out, I think, because they scored first. Their offense looked relentless. They didn't look like that sort of carried over from last night, to where I think it was they were only getting they only got 3 hits from like the third inning on last night. And, when that happens, you tend to have a little carryover. It didn't happen that way. They looked like they were competing. They were having the same at-bats they always have, and the pitching allowed them to have a couple of big innings, which always helps, and that's how you win baseball games on the road.
Yeah, the Jays are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, I believe, until when Nathan Lucas came up with his 2-run hit.
Yeah, there was some situational.
In the 7th inning.
Yeah, there was some situational spots in there too, right? Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. That happened with Kirky one time. Like, there was some times trying to get a guy over with nobody out to third base, some situational things. But that's sort of the moment, right, where you're facing a dude that got really good stuff, and sometimes it's just hard to direct the baseball and have it go where you want it to go. And give credit to everybody. Jeff, again, you laugh at me and joke at me when I say 26 against 1, but absolutely, that's exactly how they are where they're at, is because it takes a village. And the village right now is pretty good. Might be the best in the American League.
Russ in New Jersey, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Yeah, I was not at the game tonight, holidays, but unbelievable win. A couple of things. What I want to say is, I understand why fans out of Toronto didn't understand, like, who is this team? Lucas, Clement, and, these guys, they're not going to show up big time. And it's the same. We all doubted it earlier in the year. When are they going to fall off? And, all of them have gone through a little bit of struggles, but they all just keep on coming up and getting big hits. I wanted to talk about Schneider because I think he has to get credit. You haven't mentioned it. I don't think so today. On that when he walked Judge, and some people are probably ripping out their hair saying you're putting the tying run on first. But he believes in it, and he went with it. And all he could get there is criticism if it doesn't work out. If it does work out, people tend to forget. But if it doesn't work out, people are all over it. And he walked him, and he got out of that inning. So, he went with his belief, and that's what you like in a manager. Whether you agree with him or not, stick to your beliefs.
Yeah, Russ, I appreciate the call. I don't think that didn't go through my mind. I'm pretty comfortable given the Jays' success against the Yankees this year, and we have to keep in mind they did win the season series, and they made the Yankees look awfully bad on a couple of occasions doing it. I don't think you can walk. I don't think you can intentionally walk Aaron Judge all the time. I don't think you can. I'm sure there are fans out there that would say that. I think you have to know the situation. I think you have to at times show faith in your pitcher. And I just, quite frankly, I really like the way John Schneider manages playing against Aaron Judge. I mean, nobody in the American League intentionally walks Aaron Judge more than John Schneider does. And I keep getting back to this tonight. Aaron Judge saw 4 different pitchers, came up once with a man on base. That was at the end of the game, and he singles in the final run. But Aaron Judge, despite that home run yesterday, this series is over. I know what the dialogue's going to be in New York about Aaron Judge. I think Jeff Passan talked about that today, right? Jeff Passan talked about how, Vladdy's reputation was going to be enhanced regardless of how this series turned out because he's had a great series. And by the way, how great a series? Players with 9 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBI, and 5 runs scored in the first 4 games of any postseason series in MLB history. 1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the 2025 ALDS. So Jeff Passan's right. Vladdy's reputation, I think, was made in this series. For Aaron Judge to put all the criticism to bed, the Yankees had to win this series and ultimately go on and win the World Series. And in the biggest game of the year tonight, Kevin, the Jays took Aaron Judge out of the game.
Yeah, I think the reason why they lost had something to do with their defense, had nothing to do with Judge. Judge is a big, giant threat. I think John liked Eric Lauer. He'd rather have Eric Lauer pitching in the 6th inning than Rodriguez to at least anybody up to Stanton. Once Stanton got there, that's sort of you could see the conversation sort of got a little heavier between Petey and John when it came to how you were going to handle Judge to get to Bellinger, to get Rodriguez to Stanton. That seemed to be sort of the way they were trying to work through it as, I feel comfortable, even though Bellinger's good against lefties, that Lauer can spin it, glove side and can elevate the heater if he has to do that and make a quality pitch and not throw one down the middle and get hurt if I have to walk Judge, when we're up 2-1 and put the tying or go ahead run on and put a little bit more pressure on. So for me, it was more about he liked one guy better than the other in a certain spot. And just so happens that dude's left-handed, and that lefty ain't going to face the best behemoth on planet Earth. And it just makes total sense. It gets back to your point about when he makes the calls, how good of a day he had. I think it was Guy maybe said that's the best managerial job he's ever done. I'm not sure you can argue that. Like the situation, the day they came off of, what that dude had done to him. It was a bullpen day, like Louis Farland starting the game. Like that sucker could have went south quick.
Well, and
it didn't.
And let's look. Let's kind of refresh or revisit the conversation that Dan and Buck had with John Schneider today about Louis Farland. because I know when I got up this morning and found out Louis Varland was going to start. I mean, the great thing about baseball is you play the next day, so you get a chance to get right back on the horse, et cetera, et cetera. I wasn't entirely certain that was a horse Louis Varland necessarily wanted to ride after giving up that home run to Aaron Judge. And yet John Schneider talked to him last night. Pete Walker and John Schneider talked to him last night. John said, hey, would you be good with this? And Louis Varland said, absolutely, let's do it. So, again, you've got to you think about that. The faith that John Schneider showed in Louis Varland, and the faith, or Louis Varland returned that faith, and that John Schneider showed in him. And I mean, sports, we all like narratives. We all like come from behind stories. We all like underdog stories. We all like guys who get beaten down and come back up again. And Louis Varland is a classic example of that.
Yeah, see, the beauty of that was they had nobody else. There was nobody else to start the game. Like, he's the guy. You're not starting Sir Anthony. You're not starting Yariel Rodriguez. We thought that, but more you think about it, the way his stuff plays against certain guys and not 6 batters to start the game, it just didn't make any sense. That's the way John's selling that. I know what he told the media, but that's how he's selling it basically is, dude, you're a guy. There basically is nobody else. You're setting the tone. We're going to go where you take us to start the game. So, yeah, I'm with you. It just sort of, was a perfect storm when it came to, you just want him to go out there and sort of rectify what happened to him. And I just like the way he used all of his pitches. I said that to you. Dude, that's the way you've turned your sort of thing around. Whatever thing that you were going through because the knuckle curve and the heater wasn't playing, you made an adjustment with Pete Walker to say, if you got him, throw him. And then you didn't against one of the best hitters and the biggest at bat of the game. And then you came back the next day and you actually did it and it worked. It was a beautiful thing.
John Schneider eventually did make it to the podium, probably after toweling off, getting the beer out of his hair, maybe a little bit of it, a little bit of the champagne out of his hair as well. And he was asked on just on the bullpen in general and winning a game on a bullpen day.
I think I said it a few times in the clubhouse, I think the baseball world as a whole looked at, a bullpen game versus Cam as kind of a no contest, and we view it as an opportunity to do what we're good at, So to have basically almost every pitcher contribute and to have some prominent names contribute and some guys that have been doing it all year, Barge with 3 hits and Miles with an add-on run and Lukey with a big hit. It's just very fitting and kind of sums up the 25 Blue Jays.
Could not have said it any better. It really did. This is a 2025 Blue Jays win. Gets a little hairy at times.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. I'll say this. It's fun. It's fun watching John Schneider manage a game because there's a whole hell of a lot of opportunities to second guess if you want. But again, at the end of the day, 5-2. And I cannot stress this enough. Having seen games at Yankee Stadium, generally Yankee Stadium in the postseason doesn't empty out early. It generally doesn't. If nothing else, they stay around to boo and throw stuff at the Yankees when they're eliminated. I mean, this thing started empty in the 8th inning, and I absolutely believe that not only did the Jays beat the Yankees, they just literally sucked the soul out of the Yankees tonight.
Yeah, how about that? 2025, Nathan Lucas cleared out Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's pretty freaking awesome, Jeff. If you think about it, where he's came from, what he's been through, just what he's doing. He's the only guy against the righty you won't hit in second in their lineup. He's the only guy. Like, he's the guy. I said this, and I'll continue to say it, because of what he can do in different quadrants with his bat path and use the whole entire field. You want him up when it matters the most. You want him up against tough pitching. You want him up driving in runs, and that was it was no different tonight. I mean, I looked at when he walked to the plate, I said, right guy, right place. And it just so happens it was. And, he might have been the only one looking for a heater. Because
Yes.
he might have been,
Yeah, he
you know,
might have
with
been,
that.
yeah.
Well, yeah, with Devin Williams just threw 7 of them to the dude in front of you. What are you looking for, Jeff? Probably not an elevated heater.
No.
Sure looked to me like he's looking for it. And when he got one, he thought he could put in play. He didn't miss it. And that's just the cool part of Nathan Lucas. And it's cool that John actually mentioned his name, you know, when he's spreading the champagne and doing his little speech, and even at the podium right there. It's just pretty cool where Nathan's come from. Nathan's impossible not to root for. He's an awesome dude, man.
Yeah, he is very much one of the stories of the 2025 Blue Jays. The story of the 2025 Blue Jays, well, we haven't written the final chapter yet. The Jays are off to the ALCS with a 5-2 win over the New York Yankees. That series starts Sunday. Top of my head, I believe. It starts on Sunday. It will be against either the Seattle Mariners or the Detroit Tigers. And I think
Who do you want?
Oh, I mean, one, I don't think it matters. I think the Jays can beat both of them.
Yeah.
Two, honestly, I'd rather have the Tigers. The Mariners line up and the Mariners bullpen. Yeah, I'll take the Tigers. No disrespect to the Tigers or AJ Hinch, but I'd rather see them than the Mariners.
Yeah, I've watched a little bit of those games. You know, they're not hard to pitch to. Like, you know, I think the Jays can do some things against them and at the Rogers Center, and there might be a little unfinished business there. I mean, you remember it's not too far removed from that team smoking a bunch of cigars at the Rogers Center. So, I don't know. I mean, I think the best two teams in the American League in my mind are Seattle and the Blue Jays. I wouldn't mind them. But Detroit would be cool, too. The fans, how close they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool, too. So you can't go wrong with any team, either team. I think when push comes to shove, the Jays will be the favorites.
Yes, I don't think there's any doubt about that. 5-2, the Blue Jays have beaten the New York Yankees. They have moved on to the ALCS, their first postseason series win since 2016. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. It is Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I think because they're a really close group, I think they're talented, and we had some big name guys do some big things, and we had some guys that have been doing it all year do some things that they normally are pretty good at. So it's a really close group, and I've said it to you guys once. I've said it a million times. They're really good at turning the page to the next thing that's important. So just happy for everyone that was involved, and kind of fitting that it took everyone to win today.
Well, they don't have to turn any page, the Toronto Blue Jays, not for a while anyhow. They can sit back. Hell, heck, they can kick back. They can have fun tonight, come back to Toronto, and they can watch some baseball because there were 4 games on tap today, all of them potential clinching games. Only one team punched their ticket to the championship series in their league. That was the Blue Jays with a 5-2 win over the New York Yankees. The Chicago Cubs beat the Milwaukee Brewers 4-3. Detroit shocked, I think it's safe to say, the Seattle Mariners 9-3. And if you get a chance to watch Riley Green's home run, get a look at that thing. 454 feet, and I think they shortchanged him on it. And currently at Dodger Stadium right now, the Phillies are hammering the Dodgers 8-1. So very much looks as if those 3 series will, well, certainly the Milwaukee still leads their series 2-1. Detroit and Seattle are tied at 2 games apiece. And if the Phillies win, there will be at least one more game in that series. The Dodgers currently lead 2-0, but as we said, the Phillies seem to have that game well in hand. It is in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Jays, I mean, we've been singing the praises of the supporting cast. We've been singing the praises of everybody tonight. Supporting cast came through. Vladdy had himself a series. But at the end of the day, I think the story tonight will be the bullpen, the parade of arms out of the Blue Jays bullpen. Every one of them, for the most part, doing their job. If you had to give them a letter grade, I don't think you'd give anybody anything less than a B. It's a pretty good night for the bullpen. And John Schneider was asked about all the planning, all the thinking, the orchestrating, the scripting, if you want, that goes into a bullpen game.
If people knew the work that went into it, you know, it's stressful. You know, we started talking at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I give so much credit to Pete and to Graham Johnson and to Sam Green and Luke Hoey. for kind of working together to kind of figure this out, right? So my job is to try to put them in the right spots. Their job is to go execute, which they all did, So you can have a plan, you can have a script, whatever. It is what it is, but the players have to go do it. But yeah, today, it was pretty gratifying, standing next to Pete, who I've known and loved for a lot of years, even when I wasn't in the big leagues. When I was in the minor leagues, he's treated me like a brother, So to kind of react in real time, and I think that we've gotten a lot better at having a plan, reading the room, reading the feel of the game, and making decisions. So it was pretty fulfilling today to have Pete there.
I know that if you could just get a complete game shutout, that's cool too. But is a game like this fun for you? You've kind of got your foot on the gas, hand on the wheel the whole time.
Yeah, I texted those guys I just mentioned this morning and just said, like, this is an opportunity to have some fun, which I really meant. It seems uncomfortable as hell, but I really meant it. And it's easy to say, okay, we blew a lead yesterday and we're walking into this today, but I think that we really kind of felt it, Fun right now, yeah. From 1 o'clock till 10 o'clock, debacle. It's a lot, you know what I mean? I shouldn't say debacle, but there's just a lot of moving parts. So just glad that the guys did what they did.
That is John Schneider talking about all the thought that went into this game today, Kevin. And again, all the right levers were pulled, pushed, whatever you want to say, buttons pushed, levers pulled, whatever. 8 pitchers rolling through the bullpen and limiting the Yankees to 2 runs.
Yeah, look, I think that's where, for me, John's grown the most, is he's not afraid to go outside the box of what we talk a lot about the khakis, right, and the script and sort of trying to predict the future. A lot of the times they're right, but there's that occasion where, you want that lefty facing somebody else and you got to walk the big boy. Do I do it or don't I do it? It's sort of, am I bringing this guy in? And I think that's what John's talking about is, I watched the game enough that I feel, I know we talked about it this way, but man alive, the game is telling me to do that instead of this. And I just think that's where John's grown the most, at least the conversations that me and you always have with him. I think that's what he's most proud of is just sort of, he's grown as a manager enough to basically say, no, I'm good. I'm going to do it this way. I'll live and die with it and deal with the results later. So, yeah, I mean, again, I give all the credit to the players, but the coaching staff there, you know them very well. I know them very well. I've known Petey forever. I know John forever. They work their tails off. I think Petey's the best in the business when it comes to just having that feel of which guy has got it. Like, there's some things you can't teach. And Petey's got a good handle on what that is and who's got it and when to bring that certain guy in at a certain time. And I think that's what John's talking about. So, yeah, it's a collaborative effort. And, boy, do they do a heck of a job.
So the next couple of days basically will be devoted to one story in this city. I mean, we'll obviously be following the other American League series to see who the Jays face. But let's be honest. All anybody is going to want to know every day is how close is Bo Bichette to returning to the lineup. Is there a way that Bo Bichette could be on the roster for the ALCS? Well, we heard John Schneider talk about how he thought Bo may have turned a corner today. And, well, let's hear what Bo Bichette thinks and where he thinks he is.
Yeah, I mean, I've made huge progress the last few days, so I'm really optimistic about where I stand, and I'll do everything I can to be ready. But I have a positive mindset for sure.
And what do you need to feel kind of next? Is it about running? Is it something at the plate? What's the next hurdle for you?
Yeah, I just have to make sure I can run the bases.
Yeah, that would be good. Making sure he could run the bases. Look, I will say this. It is, Kevin, the first time we've heard any sort of, I wouldn't say optimism from Bo, but it's the first time I think we've been able to get the sense that he sees there might be a light at the end of the tunnel here.
Yeah, look, I think just his presence in the lineup would be huge for the Blue Jays, and sticking him right in that cleanup spot, doing the things that he could do driving in runs would be awesome.
John in North Van, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Yeah, hey guys, what a great game. I felt like I was watching fine art there. It was a Picasso being painted right from the start. Any idea that we had demons before? Those are exercised, right? 22, 23, and this is exciting stuff, and it's just a tribute to the front office that so many of us have critiqued. My question for you to riff off from there, Bassett, they say that he started conversations about how to change communication with players back in, last summer, 2024. I feel like that's really rung true and bought into. What do we know about what was said, and how do you think that plays out to who this team is today?
I mean, listen, thanks for the call. I mean, it appears as if it was largely the pitchers who kind of orchestrated this, Kevin. That's everything, we're led to believe. Quite frankly, I'm not around the team enough to know sort of, who initiated it, where it went. But I do know this. When you talk to people around the team, they talk about the messaging this year was a lot clearer. It was a lot easier, and they not just Dave Popkins. You hear a lot of people give Don Mattingly credit for sort of the in-game prep, if you want to call it, that position players go through. But I keep thinking back to, keep thinking back to something. I think it was something John said about the new hitting coaches and how they immediately reached out to George, because the thought was, if we can get George on board with what we want to do, or if we can get George thinking about things, other guys are going to follow. And, we'll know eventually when the story of this season is fully written just how much of an impact that had. But clearly, George Springer had a year none of us saw coming. Anybody who says they saw this coming from George Springer, well, if you're John Schneider, anybody other than John Schneider's lying. And I don't even know if John Schneider believed what he's peddling in spring training. But that's kind of, to me, where this starts. That's where this starts, because whatever they were preaching to George, and I don't think everybody's bought in completely, but whatever they were preaching to George, I think kind of worked its way down. And it's hard to argue with the results. Again, this shouldn't be a surprise. They're in first place on Canada Day, or around Canada Day. They went from July to the end of September in first place, and they had the best record in the American League. So somebody was doing something right.
Yeah, I think they made the shortstop happy too. Whatever they were selling to the shortstop, he balled in, and once he's balled in fully with just the talent that the front office went out and got and brought in, and the willingness to win and want to do all that stuff. So yeah, they're where they want to be.
Omar in Boston, you're on Blue Jays Talk. Omar.
Congrats on that. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, got you now.
All right, great. I want to congratulate you guys on that game. Haven't been able to make it up to the Sky Dome for this past weekend, but I will say it was worth it watching Jeter and A-Rod's faces when they played New York, in the ball in the clubhouse. One point for me, kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on it. So I think that there was a big turning point earlier this year when they signed Vladdy the long-term extension. It was a real sign of intent from Shapiro and Atkins in the front office. And I think it seems to have really kind of galvanized this team. Curious what you guys think about it.
Yeah, appreciate the call. I mean, the ownership here has ponied up for the past, they've ponied up basically for, I was going to say forever, but certainly in the past decade, they've ponied up when it comes to payroll. What I think the Vladdy thing did is I think it removed a potential negative talking point from the season. And in this market, knowing this market a little bit, because I've been in it enough, if you can remove something that has a potentially negative focus, that is a good thing. And listen, $500 billion or $500 billion, God, $500 million is a lot to spend to remove a negative, something that could be negative focus. I'm not just saying that's what it was about. but to me, it removed an impediment to this season being about anything other than baseball. And that has to help, especially early in the year when it wasn't clear that this team was this good. I mean, once a team gets to first place, the narrative just kind of keeps going and going and going and is focused on the year. Like if Vladdy hadn't signed his long-term contract and the season still played out the way it played out, it would not necessarily be an issue. But if the year hadn't gone well, it would be a big issue. And we would have been talking about, do you deal Vladdy at the trade deadline or whatever? So, beyond the fact that I happen to like having Vladdy around as kind of the focal point for this franchise going forward, that I happen to think that he'll be able to sell this franchise a little bit to free agents because of his personality, because of the fact that, let's face it, he's done a hell of a job in networking around the game. Just beyond that, it removed an impediment to my way of thinking from things moving smoothly this year. And I guarantee you, if you talk to John, he'd say the same thing. It just removed another thing that could potentially be an issue.
Yeah, I think the owner's tired of losing, and he knows that Vladdy's a really good player, borderline great player. I think it's really that simple. And I think going forward, the owner seems to me like he ain't going to take his foot off the gas pedal. He's going to continue to do whatever needs to be done to put the best product on the field possible, to surround Vladdy with dudes that know how to play. And if you're a Jays fan and you can't be excited about that, then not a lot of help for you.
Listen, when an owner who doesn't often say a lot of things publicly, it's not his nature. When an owner who doesn't say a lot of things publicly at the news conference where he's just given out a $500 million contract to a player says, I want to win a World Series. Well, I'm sorry. Could there be a clearer message? There could not possibly be a clearer message than the message that was sent out. Glenn and Markham, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hi, good evening, guys. I mean, what a game. I was sitting in the library watching my phone and watching this game. I was holding my breath, and I will never forget where I was in this game. I mean, what a finish. I mean, what a job by the bullpen and John Schneider. As good as the 2015 and 16 Blue Jays, I think this team is better. And as a Toronto sports fan, I'm just feeling so lucky, so blessed to witness the 2019 Raptors and this Blue Jays team. This team is truly special. I think we are going to see the Tigers in the next series. I really think the Tigers are going to not only beat Seattle, but blow out Seattle in Game 5. That's my little thought. And I want to mention Jeff Hoffman. This is, I believe, his first multi-inning. I believe this is his first 4-out save. He doesn't have a save over 3 outs in the regular season. So I was a little nervous when I saw him going to the 8th inning. So although it was a little bit, just like Jeff Hoffman, a little bit not so sure, walk some guys, but he got the job done. So credit to him and credit to the whole bullpen. So we'll be the favorite in the next series, but anything can happen in the playoffs. So stay humble and hope the best luck for the Blue Jays. It's a special season. I will never forget this special season. Yeah, thank you.
Man, thank you very much. And I hope you kept the sound down in the library or were wearing headphones when you were listening to it. I'm sure you were. Listen, it's a great point. Kevin, I don't know about you. When I saw that first 97, I exhaled. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that first 97 from Jeff Hoffman. I thought, okay. But, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I felt a lot more comfortable at 5-1 than if it was, say, 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing going forward, right? Can they win a World Series with 7, 8, 9 in those innings looking the way it's looked? I mean, only time will tell, right? But it is that 26-against-1 kind of thing. And, it's worked up until this point. Yeah, you like the 97s. I did ask around, seeing, how did they find it, and they have no idea. It's like, it's basically you either got it or you don't. If you don't have it, I've got to go to somebody else. I think that's where they were at with him. And whatever he did over that little break that they had must have worked. You're seeing the extra gear and velocity. Tonight, it just, the stuff wasn't breaking the way it normally does, the slider and the split finger. And to the caller's point, he got it done. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that is indeed all that matters. And now we can all sit back, relax for a bit, wait and see who the Jays meet in the ALCS. We can watch baseball. You get a chance to watch baseball, and you don't maybe not be that invested in it for a couple of days, because I'll tell you what, on the weekend, you know what gets real. It's going to get crazy in the weekend. And if it is I'm not underestimating the Detroit Tigers, but if it's the Detroit Tigers, you're really close to going to the World Series. I can't put it any other way. 5-2, the Blue Jays have advanced to the ALCS. They've won their first series since 2016. So, thank you for listening to Blue Jays postseason baseball. Canada's team is back in the playoffs, and your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers are proud to be a part of it. For over 40 years, Crown has protected vehicles from rust, keeping them strong and ready for the road, just like a great playoff baseball team. Crown Rust Control, proud sponsor of your Toronto Blue Jays radio broadcast.
The Yankee lose.